these are the actual stuff. Okay, so over here, this is actually the last car that Fumilayo Ransom KUTI actually drew before she passed on. Fumilayo Ransom KUTI is Fela's mother. Yeah, the popular Fela. So this is the so what we have here is the of Fela's mom, the popular activist called Fumilayo Ransom KUTI. This is the place she lived with her husband and her children and family, alright? And this building probably like 50, 60, 70 or 100 years. So I just reminded that this was over 100 years. So we just left a section where we saw her car and all of that. So in this building, we have rooms, we have a personal study, the rooms that she used are all of them. So it's actually exciting. Also a large company, you can show them the ambience. I'm actually sitting on the seat and personal study of Fela's mom, Fumilayo Ransom KUTI. I believe that's the name, right? It's incredible. I hope I don't turn an activist thereafter. After now. It's really interesting. So I just feel like an activist. Alright?
The Reverend died in 1955, and he had used this before. 1955. He died. And these were his quotes before his death.
Oh.
Piano was used as a reference. You also learned some of musical notes from here. Yeah.
This?
Yes.
Wow.
This was Mrs. Fumilayo's personal bedroom.
This is Fumilayo's personal bedroom.
The movie Fumilayo Ransom KUTI was shot in the building too.
This building?
Yeah.
A mansion at the time. It's still even modern. It's still a mansion, sir.
Family's dining room. These teacups were imported from China. And those jars, I said that she decided not to use anything Western drugs. She kept herbs in those jars for herself and family. This is one of the rooms. Oh, the children's room.
Oh.
And this is one of the kitchen. That's why no, the kitchen. Not the kitchen. What's it look like? That's
the bathroom.
Hey, you're around. What's going on?
This old switch. This old switch. Yes.
Okay, so Mrs. Dolupo died here in 2010. So when she died, the house was abandoned for like 9 years. The other children had their life going on somewhere else. They didn't want to come and live here. So you can see weeds that started growing around the house. There's a big canal. When it was being renovated. And this was the intended architectural plan for the whole renovation. But looking at this, it's not giving the KUTI house vibe. So they have to just leave it and just leave this whole place in its original state and just do some small touchings on it. Though the other part, like this part now, and the other part, they were completely remodeled. Yeah. But this one was left as it was. So there was no fence, so everything started flooding into the compound. Then for like 9 years is a long time. So we even had some basement rooms underneath these places before. And this was a stairway that could go down the basement room. It was around this side, go down. But because of the flooding, we had to just close the basement to not fit for people to see anymore. So in 2019, under Senator Ibukun Amosu's governorship, the government started to use houses like this as a project to turn them to monumental sites where people can come, and hear the stories of people who had once lived there.
Just
So
like
this was how it was looking before we turned it to a museum.
it was looking like this.
Yeah, this place that we have here is this other side. Now, yeah. And this is where we are here now. On the other side, that other building is where we'll be going now. It's all together in the place, in
okay.
the part of the property. This here is the KUTI family tree. We have Mr. Adjese KUTI, who was the father to Reverend Israel Joseph KUTI. They were both Anglican ministers, they were teachers, and they were musicians as well. Mrs. Funlayo here was from the Thomas family. Our family house is like 4 houses down the street here. And this is another home in the The Reverend both, Reverend and Mrs. Funlayo both had 4 children who were studying in England. The first child, Dolupo, was a nurse, and she had 2 children, Francis and Yomi. To our first child, Francis died of cancer a few months after Fela's death in 1997. The Professor Olikoye was a doctor and health minister under Obasanjo's regime. He had 3 children. Olufela was a musician and activist. He had 7 children. His 3rd child, Shola, is late. Last son, Bear Konari, was a doctor and activist as well. He had 4 children. This here shows the portrait of the family. The Reverend, his wife, Lulupo, the first daughter, Olikoye, Olufela, and Bear Konari, the last son. This is the birth and death date of the children. The Reverend got married to his wife on the 20th of January 1925, though they had their first daughter 3 years prior to their marriage time. And Dolupo, being the first child, was the last one to die, and she died here in this house in 2010. Olikoye died in 2003. Olufela died in 1997, the first one to die. Then Bear Konari died in 2006. Have you been to Olumo, please?
Yes.
Oh, good. Then you have sang this Mayo. Did you sing it? Did you? You did too?
Yes.
Good, okay. So I don't need to sing it anymore. The Reverend with his father were the ones who composed and wrote it together. It was their most notable composition then. It was formerly known as the Abeokuta Grammar School Anthem, but now they call it the Egba Anthem. The Reverend and his father used to translate hymns in church to Yoruba, because people there were not really educated. So, like singing a hymn in Yoruba, in English, it just sounds like a foreign language. So they helped them to translate it to Yoruba for better relation and understanding of the people.
Please, can you sing the song again?
Oh God, attracts extra payments. Okay, I'm not from Abeokuta, so I'm only going to read to this place.
Okay, that's fine.
All right. Lórí òkè àti pẹ̀tẹ́lẹ̀, ibẹ̀ la gbé bí mi sí o, ibẹ̀ la gbé tọ́ mi dàgbà o, ilẹ̀ òmìnira. Èmi yóò fàbẹ́ òkúta ṣògo, fún àdúrà lórí Olúmọ, máa yọ̀ lórúkọ Ẹ̀gbá o, èmi ọmọ Lísàbí. Máa yọ̀ lórí Olúmọ, máa yọ̀ lórí Olúmọ. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you.
So, my husband, the Reverend Israel Joseph, was born in Abeokuta here in 1900, and she died in 1978 when she was thrown from Fela's house in Lagos State. She was one of the first women to attend Abeokuta Grammar School in 1914, which was an all-boys school before her attendance. Her father was a rich farmer who had only girls as children, and he wanted education for his own children as well. So he said there was nothing bad in sending a girl child to school. So in 1919, she left for Wincham in England to pursue her studies. By the time she returned in 1922, due to the racism that she had encountered in England, she decided to drop her Christian name Frances Abigail, saying there was no need to bear the names of people who did not respect her for who she was. She didn't even only drop her Christian name, she dropped everything, Western apparels, Western drugs, and the likes. That's why you see her mostly in this kind of native attires. She had 4 children, Dolupo, Olikoye, Olufela, and Bear Konari. So they have a new site now at Idiaba, but this was the one that that was first built, and it was built in 1908. We have some of the notable alumni of the school. Wale Soyinka, who is the cousins with the Mfela, Olikoye and all, attended the Abeokuta Grammar School. Okwande Chijore, the former Oni of Ife, attended this school as well. Tunde Kilani, the movie producer, attended this school as well. So many other alumnus, but these are the ones that we have shortlisted here. This is the Reverend with his wife and so many students. It was said then that before the school had a boarding house, like students came from far and wide to attend Abeokuta Grammar School. Like Okwande now coming from Ife to attend the school here. So they had no place to stay. When the Reverend became the principal, being his generous self, he allowed them to come and stay here in the house. So all this ground floor was used for students' accommodation then. Though in the later years when the Reverend had died, his wife, so they said they later started using it as like a rentage for students to continue staying until they turned it to a museum. And here is Funmilayo receiving honorary doctorate of law from the University of Ibadan in 1968. As the name implies, honorary. She did study the course, but it was conferred on her due to the things that she had done in the community, which even went beyond the borders of Nigeria. And there's one thing I find very amusing about the Reverend. You know, in Africa generally, you have this notion of women should be supportive of the husband from the background. We shouldn't be out there. But he's the kind of husband who understands that some women cannot just be kept in the background. He supported her from the background himself. Because at some point, he started telling him that he could not control his home. He was allowing his wife to go about and disturbing the peace of the community. But the fact just remains that some women cannot be kept at the back. They are meant for the limelight. So he was very, very supportive husband. And this year was published when he died. The second day he died, April 7, 1995, to like pay last respect to him. And he was buried at the family church, St. John's Church. Then in the years later when Mrs. Funmilayo died, she was buried with him together in the same tomb. Since then, he was the one who was imposing the establishment of the market women. So he was interviewed to give his own account of everything that had happened after he had gone into exile for like 2 years and 4 months. Then when he came back, he was interviewed here, and it was when the women had successfully chased the Alake from the palace here. They were dancing for their victory here in this picture. And we have this was the first woman to drive a car. Because that's what you ever hear in school, first woman to drive a car. But I see that's more or less like attributing all she had done to just that car driving. This picture shows a lot. Imagine being an only girl in an all-boys school back in the years. If she had not attended the school then, so many girls today will not be able to boast of being product of this school today. Probably the school will still even remain an all-boys school till now. Economy was not really stable then. Nigeria's 1 kobo was equivalent to £1. Then 1 pound to euros 1 pound then.
Kobo.
1 kobo, yeah. Then now it is like 2,002 something for a pound to naira now. So the economy there was bad. Mrs. Funmilayo was one of the people who attended. She was even the only woman among them to attend such a meeting. See, she's always fighting for 1 or 2 people's rights. And this year was taken during her last interview after she was thrown from Fela's house. She was believed to be recuperating for a while here, but she later died. She was already 78 years old. Her bones could not heal from the fall, so she later died. Yeah, so she was being interviewed to talk about how and why she was thrown from Fela's house. So, and here when she died, I'm very sorry. They were asked, they published this, where would she be buried? The government wanted to give her a federal burial, but her children said they didn't want that. What they wanted was for the government to provide those unknown soldiers who had thrown her from Fela's house, but the government would not provide such. So they later gave her the federal burial. They buried out her husband, and so during her funeral service here. And this was what the then head of state, Obasanjo, said about her. Mrs. KUTI, a freedom fighter. And Mrs. Funmilayo happened to be one of them. So it encapsulates the entire activism work of Mrs. Funmilayo and Son KUTI. So when the Alake had been out with the colonial masters, during the tax collection, the protest of the women, when she was imprisoned because of her activism. The soldiers or security, any which way, who were at the palace were refusing them access to the king. And here was when they essentially chased the Alake from the palace. And here is the victory at last portrayed. So
Yeah, you said they chased Alake out of the palace. Where did they now go to?
went into exile.
Exile.
It was saved. And returned like some
Decades.
2 decades. Well, 2 years, 4 months later. The case was found.
So when he came back, what now happened?
He went back to his seat. He's not dead yet. He's still the king. So
Is he the king? Till
of
date?
course, he was still the king.
Till date.
No, like at that time, him going into exile doesn't mean that he's no more king.
Who sent him on exile?
The women. Because the whole activism of Mrs. Funlayara or something, at some point, it even spread beyond the borders of Egba itself. Women from Shagamu, Ilaro, and so many other bordering communities like towns, yes, also joined the protest. Because here, when she was imprisoned, it was after she and some other women had been imprisoned. After they now released them and they went back for another protest, I thought all the women now joined them, that for them to have even had the guts to imprison again, because then it got to a point they started like taxing them to pay for water. Water to drink, to wash, to do anything you must pay. And even every market day, they are increasing the tax by 10% every time. So it got to a point the women could not even take it anymore. And there's a limit to what humans can take. So they had to just turn back to them. No. So they stormed into the palace, and the king had to run. Of course, it was a very, very risky situation for him there.
Sure.
And his daughter as well. The professor with his wife in Dublin, 1959. Donukwa here, when she had grown older, the first daughter, she looks more like the mother when she had grown older. Here. This is Fela here with his brother. Fela here with his brother as well. Child of Fela. This is Fela in his much younger years. This is him when he came back from England to her homecoming party. One thing about the family, one child was working for the government, which is Professor Olikwe. Another child was working against the same government. Fela always singing against the government. But here is his last brother. He took after the father, the gentle type. He doesn't want trouble at all. And this Ahmed house was in by Professor Olikwe while he was still on the seat. It is father here. This is him as well, Fela, and his son Femi here. This is Muturaya, the last child of Fela. This is Mrs. Funlayara when the children were still much younger. And Tierney with her younger brother. Tierney here during the birthday party. This is Shalewa, the 5th child, but she's a DJ. This is Sheon, Yeni, Kunle here. That was when Fela died, before he was buried. This is Kunle, Femi, Sheon, and Yeni here.
All right, thank you.